here, so I'm getting the backup recording on that, and I got the encoders up and running. So yeah, as soon as you want to be live, you are live.
All right, give me 1 second. I want to put it on my personal page.
But we actually are live. Hey, tell TJ to quit walking back and forth. He's like in the background. Make sure you don't walk behind.
Hey, be quiet, Corey. We're live. Jesus Christ, man.
I know you're not talking, brother. I'm tell you, you got people behind you.
Man. All right, I think we're ready, Dave.
All right, yeah, you are live and good to go, man.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see you. This is Demetrius Carrington, publisher of Beautiful Machine Magazine. Well, you know, we're all stuck in the house. What is this, week 6 or 7? So we decided to kind of stop watching Netflix and eating and do a podcast for you guys on a virtual basis. So we're going to have some bumps and bruises, but hopefully we'll have a good time. I'm joined by my buddy and co-host, Corey. Corey, say hello to the people.
What's up, everybody? Corey sitting here checking in. Beautiful Machine Magazine. We ready to have some fun today. And let's get it. Let's get it.
Cool. So, Corey, tell us what since we've been locked down, I guess you still are kind of working. You work for an essential service. So, how's it been for you going to work while everyone else is kind of taking it easy, trying not to die?
Hey, man, you know, like you said, we're just trying to stay safe out there for the most part, man. You know, go to work, we stay safe, we wear our masks, we wear our gloves, make sure you're sanitizing, washing your hands 20 seconds, like they say, and keeping our social distancing guidelines, you know, 6 feet apart, and, you know, stay safe, man. That's what it is. Man, before we get off into, you know, our whole podcast thing, though, I ran into a lot of people out in the streets, man. I tell them about the magazine. I tell them about Beautiful Machine. And the question I get most is, what exactly is Beautiful Machine, man? Can you kind of give a breakdown for the people that are listening, as well as the people that aren't following us yet, is what is Beautiful Machine?
Certainly I can do that. Well, obviously, we're an online magazine. We publish every month. I get that same question, too, because everything we do is so custom. We don't have we don't have like a journalistic map. We write about whatever. So it could be 15 stories and they could all be different in every way possible. We're multicultural. We don't do a lot of the political stuff. However, there is a political article that we published this month, but it's fun, it's informative. You know, for me, I wanted to do something that represented how I see the world. I see the world multicultural. I see the world funny. I see the world serious. You know, I see the world sexually. I see the world. I'm fascinated by every facet of the world. So Beautiful Machine is just nothing but a representation of what's in my mind and the other people that helped me put it together, what's in their mind. It's like I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard for me to say. It's just a collection of interesting stories and things on a monthly basis.
Hey, man, that was a great, you know, synopsis of what the magazine does. Man, tell the people also about some of the events that Beautiful Machine does throughout the year, you know, past events and then present, and then also talk about some future events that we're planning on dropping for the people.
Well, for the most part, you know, everyone asks me about that. We're not a party-giving machine. We celebrate. You know, that's it. We celebrate.
Yeah, that's why I call them events. That's why I said events, not party, right? We have events, not parties.
You know, we celebrate, and we do an anniversary party, which is, you know, scheduled for July, which will probably get moved, where we celebrate our Man of the Year, Woman of the Year. This year we have Person of the Decade. And we have our Humanitarian of the Year, which is Dave Woods. Mary Sheffield, who will be joining us shortly, is our Woman of the Year. And our guy, Chuck Bennett, is the Man of the Decade. And we're going to announce our Man of the Year next month. Excuse me, I'm drinking wine. It's kind of doing something weird.
And we didn't even toast it up one time, brother. Toast it up one time with the wine.
There you are, buddy.
Matter of fact, we got the Earl Stevens going. The Earl Stevens. I'm drinking Earl Stevens here, brother.
Gotcha. I'm not sure what I'm drinking. But certainly, you know, we have that party. So our anniversary party, which is probably our biggest party. then we do this thing called the Beautiful Machine, Beautiful People Cocktail Party, which is in the summertime. And there's going to be one other party. We're going to add perhaps a party around the end of the year, around that holiday season. But, the thing of it, we have parties all the time. It's just the parties we choose to share with the general public.
Yeah.
So it ebbs and flows. We talk about it, but what we're not going to do, we're not going to have party for no reason or just parties. But I tell you one thing we're going to do. When this thing is over, we're going to have a really, really different party than what we used to. We're celebrating life, because
that's right.
This last 6-7 weeks has been hard on us all.
Let's get out the house. Get out the house.
Get out of the house. Just play some music and just act crazy for 2 hours. This is going to be really exclusive. This won't be your average. We're going to get a loft. We're going to do it real.
Real sexy.
Well, they all tend to be sexy, but more. I don't know, just fun. Without the. We're going to loosen up. Put it like this: if you're supposed to be there, you'll be there. This won't even be something that the general pop gets a chance to even see.
Gotcha.
So, and like the last party we had, we celebrated Chuck Bennett's birthday.
Shout out to Chuck Bennett, man. Great guy, man.
Yeah, Chuck's a great guy. I mean, Chuck has taught me a lot over the 30 years I've known him. And it's just a lot of the things that happen at our party is from knowledge or things that I've seen Chuck do. There's like I can't remember the name of the magazine or something. It's some fancy French name. But they give these awards to the best party givers or the best party hosts. Chuck wins this shit all the time.
Right. Chuck brings the whole city out, by the way. Everybody's listening. You mentioned Chuck's name, he brings the whole city out. Most definitely.
Yeah, Chuck is a unique individual that kind of touches everybody. You're right. He's a very interesting guy, and he just gets stronger. He's like wine. He gets better with time. He doesn't reverse. And it's so funny because I meet girls that are like 20 something, and they know about Chuck. They don't even know. How many girls walked up to you at the party and said, "Will you introduce me to Chuck?"
I lost count, man. If I had a dollar,
I had at least three. I had at least three. Will you introduce me to Chuck? Like, this guy's like Jay-Z,
Right.
So whatever Chuck does is great. And, he's honestly the most giving person, the most kind person. Chuck has gotten me out of a lot of jams over the years, like really serious jams, and just his knowledge. When I have a problem, I call Chuck. Our organization is set up kind of like the Corleone family. Chuck is like Vito, semi-retired, eating oranges in the field, but still has all of the knowledge.
That's right.
I'm like Michael. I think you'd be probably Fredo at the. That's this whole thing you fall. You're going to turn into Fredo.
Right.
And so I go to Chuck. Chuck, this is what I'm trying to do. Like right now, this is something that most people probably hear for the first time. We are planning a polo match. We're going to bring a real polo match to the city of Detroit. And it's slated next year, July 17th.
Talk about it. Black excellence, man. Talk about it.
Well, it's going to be a fun-filled weekend. We're going to bring in some celebrity DJs, and it's going to be probably several fundraisers leading up to the thing. And it's just going to be a ridiculous weekend. Just something that is Beautiful Machine. That is you. That is me. That is Chuck Bennett. That's Antija and everyone else that works with us. It's going to be an amalgamation of how we live. And it's going to be great. And it's going to be dope because everything we do is dope.
That's right. Beautiful people doing beautiful things, baby.
Exactly.
That's what I like to say.
It was supposed to happen this year, but, with all this stuff, we had to kind of kill it. And, but July 17th, look for that. We'll start to promote it soon. I'm looking forward to all the beautiful women you know, the dapper dudes out in the sun with the hats and the beautiful horses, you know, the
No
champagne.
doubt. No doubt.
It's gonna be fun.
Hey, D man, speaking of the beautiful women and dapper dudes, man, you know what? The party that we had, the last party we had, the love party, man, it was a great party. It was a great event, right? Had a lot of lovely ladies out there, a lot of great looking guys, man. Everybody had a good time. That's what we aim to do. We aim to please. Everybody's VIP at our functions. I myself, though, D, I have a top 5, right?
You've been talking about this top 5.
I surveyed, D, let me tell you what I did. I went around, I surveyed the fellas at the party. We took a survey of the ladies, right? And this is not to slight any lady that was there, because everybody was beautiful. Everybody came to kill. And that's
there was not one woman in that building that wasn't beautiful.
That's right. And we appreciate it. We appreciate when the ladies come out dressed to kill. That's what we expect at our events. However, we also always have to kind of give props to the, you know, the ones that just kind of stood out a little bit extra, brother. You know what I'm saying? a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? The ones that kind of caught our eye. So I'm gonna give the top 5 right now, man.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
We got a guest that just entered our living room. How are you, Mary?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, Mary. Hey, how you doing, Mary?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Mary, that's Corey. Corey works for the magazine, and he's the co-host of the Beautiful Machine, Slightly Inappropriate podcast. But we won't be slightly inappropriate with you.
Oh,
we'll be on our best behavior, Mary. We promise.
Now, y'all good. You're good.
Well, first thing first, congratulations on being our Woman of the Year.
No, I appreciate you, Demetrius, Ian, and Tisha. You guys were amazing to work with. So I appreciate the honor.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you. And, you know, I'm being dead serious when I say this. When we talked about Woman of the Year, there was maybe 3 women that their names came up more than once. Yours was way, you know,
making me blush and turn red. No, I'm just
it wasn't even fair. Like because, you know, what you do is so incredible. And the thing about it, it's how you do it. There's so much passion. Like our humanitarian of the year, Dave Woods. This guy is so passionate.
Yes, he is.
How can you deny him? Yep. How can you not look at this man and say that he's anointed in some way? This guy, while we were all huddled up at home, you and him, you were out giving tests, you know, to make sure people weren't sick or whatever. And he's out delivering food, not even caring about himself.
Yeah.
I mean, those are heroes to me, and the doctors and the police and all that. So I couldn't think of anyone more deserving to be our Woman of the Year besides you.
I appreciate that.
And once this is all over, Mary.
Let's give it up for Mary. Let's give it up for Mary.
Sorry.
And Mary, I promise you, when this is all over, we're gonna have a party.
I can't wait. I missed the last one at the Rooster Tail.
Oh, you missed it.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready. I can't wait.
Corey, you think
I expect you to make my top 5 next party, Mary. I expect you to make the top 5 list.
Corey has a top 5 list, and I don't have anything to do with that. I think all the women are beautiful. I don't rate.
Top 5 is what is it? The best? What is this? Top 5 what?
Top 5 baddest at the parties. The baddest ladies representing at the party. Like I said, everybody is beautiful. We're not, saying, but we just got to, give a special shout out to the top 5 baddest at the party. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, Mary, since you're here, how's your dad doing?
My dad is recovering well. He is strong now. He has no symptoms, and he was out today actually delivering food to people.
Oh, wow.
He has this renewed sense of purpose because a lot of people his age and with conditions like him are not here. So he's grateful, and I'm blessed that he recovered well. So
have you seen the chief?
Yep, the chief is well too. He's doing great. Him and Brenda Jones as well too.
Good. So my father's had a really bad year for his health. So I got my father scared to go outside. I got him so gassed up. I got him thinking if he steps outside for fresh air, his head's going to explode. He's not going outside. Like literally. And it's mandatory that he calls me on the hour just to say hi. because I'm terrified. I was, I was sick for 2 weeks. I wasn't as bad as most. I had no energy. I had a headache, and I just was like nauseated. And so I was lucky. I was lucky, but some of the other people that I know that it didn't get fatal, God forbid, they didn't, they had all kind of, couldn't taste, couldn't do this, couldn't do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear, and please send your dad our well wishes.
I will.
We cannot afford to lose a maverick like your father.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
How is it? How's the city? Can you give us a quick update on?
Yeah, I mean, the city, we're managing. I mean, it was a hard hit on Detroit. We are one of the hot spot cities in the country, and so just trying to respond from an economic standpoint. I mean, we're looking at almost a $300 million deficit that we have to make up for because of the hit to the economy, the local economy.
Yeah, crazy.
So we haven't even got to that part of it. And then, from an emotional standpoint, I mean, there's a lot of leaders we've lost, over the last couple of months, trying to heal from that. But we are testing around 700 people a day. We're getting ready to move to start testing all of the businesses that are open right now. All of their employees can now come in for testing before they go into the work environment. And so we're just trying to knock this thing out, man, and just trying to get back to some type of normalcy the sooner we can. So just encouraging your listeners to continue to stay in place, to adhere to the orders. And if we can just get through the next couple of weeks or even month, whatever it may be, it's going to be better on the other side. So we're flattening the curve, though. I can't say that. There's been some reports that show the reduction, that it is working, but we still have some ways to go. So.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I obviously I'm not a medical expert like our president, and so
Pow.
so, but I think if we stick out, if we stay strong for 3 weeks,
yes,
then ramp up slowly,
phase the approach. Yes.
Then I think it'll be okay. Now, like Los Angeles has canceled all of their concerts and sporting events.
Yeah, I honestly, I kind of foresee that maybe happening. I know the mayor mentioned a couple of days ago that he doesn't believe any sports and anything will take place until next year. I mean, concerts, he mentioned that concerts, gatherings of those size, he just doesn't foresee it happening.
It just really, it's the risk is just not worth it.
It's not. And we're being impacted the most. African Americans are being hit the hardest, and especially
is that kind of mostly because of the underlying conditions, the outrageous rate of diabetes and all the other heart disease and that, or is it just poor? I mean, what you tell me? What is?
I mean, I think there's several issues, right? I think it's the underlying conditions, but what breeds that, right? Oftentimes there's lack of access to quality food in the neighborhoods that African Americans in. I mean, there's a list of things that I think systemic issue that plays into why African Americans are being hit the hardest. Oftentimes we're the ones that have the service jobs, right? That we actually can't have the privilege of sitting at our home and working. We have to go out and intersect with the community. And that oftentimes leads to individuals who are exposed to COVID-19. So I think it's a lot of issues, and I think just kind of just reveals and sheds light to the disparities that already exist in the
we have to change the narrative of our health. We definitely do. I mean, it starts with eating properly, and it actually starts with self-love. Because even with no grocery store in your area, you can still make better choices than, a pizza every day. Or we can figure things out better.
That's true.
And I hope that, this is a wake-up call for all of us to do something better. Mm-hmm. I got a whole list. When I'm able to go outside again, I'm going to be...
Tell me about it.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, I get up in the morning, I'm just grateful for the birds chirping, the sun that's shining through. I mean, you just appreciate the small little things that we take for granted.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the scariest thing when you get that phone call from somebody at a time that you're not used to. That's like, oh my God, why is this guy calling at 8 in the morning? Yeah. It's like a psychological thing too. So, this is the scariest thing in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen anything else like this.
Yeah, that's what I said. We're in history right now. This is like a history-making event, definitely, so it's crazy. We just have to stay safe and, you know, ride it out, man. Get better. And when we're ready to get back outside, we're going to have some fun.
Well, Mary, I'm not
Mary,
gonna.
actually, I have one more question for you, though, before you leave.
Yes.
You know, we've been locked up in the house, and I'm going to ask this of all our guests. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy? You know, we have a lot of, like, little parties online right now. You know,
Yeah.
Pete Diddy had his party. Did you go to any virtual parties? Have you had a good social virtual, you know, type of time online?
Not really. I have a boot camp class that I do online with my boot camp family.
Yep,
but I'm gonna be honest with you. I went through the first couple of weeks watching a lot of TV and spending time on, like I did DJ's Nice's DJ live series, but I kind of then just kind of switched, and I've been really like internally reflecting, doing a lot of reading.
Yep.
I actually cracked open the Bible and been trying to read. You know, I think that this is a time that we really have to take advantage of honing in on who we are and our gifts, so that we can cultivate that during this time and come out greater on the other side. And so I really have been very, very, very serious about how I use my time day to day to just try to improve on me. So it's been good. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with social media and things of that sort, but I think that we should also make sure that we take advantage of this very precious time that I believe is a gift from God, because all of us been called for something great. And if we can take the time to really perfect that and craft it and know what it is and spend some time with that, we're going to come out greater on the other sid. So
Now let me ask you this. I mean, that's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I did. The first 2 weeks, Netflix.
Right.
and then I'll never forget it. I literally was laying in the bed and I had like an epiphany. I was just sitting there thinking about all the things that I've done wrong or am doing wrong, or it's weird. And then the next morning I got up and you know, feeling sorry for myself, because a lot of things I've been affected. Like no one's paying paying the bills. You know, and I knew that. You know, I knew people. You know, I have property and things like that. And so I was depressed, feeling like, man, what am I gonna do? Yeah. Like, this is the end. Then you watching CNN, and it's like today 19,000 people.
Oh my gosh!
You know? And so I just stopped watching that and just said, you know what? And then and actually Corey, we were talking, and he was like, man, get your mind right. Let's do a podcast.
That's right, baby.
That was Corey, because I was like, and then I was getting into arguments with people I care about. I'm still blocked by 4 people. I can't even, they're not even talking to me, because I was just in such a way, it was really fear.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that. I feel a lot better. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And like a lot of the things I prayed for just kind of start happening, like everything, like literally. And I'm not as spiritual as I should be, but like I would get the call I've been waiting on, and I'm like, man, I prayed about that.
That's right.
And then the next day I get another call that affirms something else, and then another call that affirms something else, and it just really, I'm good. You know, I just want the world to heal, so everyone, you know,
it will. Yeah.
You know, and
you're playing your part with the podcast. I mean, you're playing your part.
Amen.
Both of you guys are. And this is new. This is the first time you've done it?
This is the
first one.
See how that idea?
Yeah, you are first guest. You the first guest.
See, I'm blessing it. The creative idea now has been birthed, and who knows what's going to happen with this podcast. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I just wish you the best, Demetrius, because you just were such a pleasant person to work with, and just so kind. And I'm just grateful to be a part of the magazine, and I'm glad that you all thought of me to
well, I could tell you this too. You know, I chart, you know, and how many times people open the magazine. At the end of the day, yours is going to be number 1. You're like this close behind.
I need to tell people to go click then.
I mean, we got so much time that you'll be number 1. So just get ready for the party. You know.
Okay, I will.
We have to go out to Somerset, or we going to the Avenue of Fashions. They got some stuff.
Right. Now I have something to look forward to.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Mary.
Thank you, guys.
You enjoy
I'll make sure I let people know to tune in as well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
See you soon.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wow. Our future mayor, Mary Sheffield, man. I really like her, man.
That's right, man. Let's speak it to existence, baby. Let's speak it into existence, man.
Yeah,
look. Let me get back because we got off track, man. I was about to drop that top 5, man. I know the people waiting for it, man.
Oh, geez.
I know they waiting for that top 5, baby.
Yeah, I got my red cup and I got my wine. So whatever happens, happens.
Let's get it. So let's start with the top 5. I know everybody's been waiting and anticipating. This is going to be a well-anticipated segment right here, man. Every event, we're dropping the top 5. So, ladies, come.
No, say it right. You're dropping the top.
I'm dropping the top 5 every event. I'm dropping the top 5. So, ladies, come get it. So, let me shout out. First one, I'm shouting out Mimi Marquez. I'm shouting out Mimi Marquez. She's looking lovely at the party. I mean, exquisite. So, Mimi, she's in the top 5. Next one in the top 5, Rachel Smith. Rachel Smith is also part of the top 5. We're going with Antija King. Coming in the top 5, Antija King. I have Stacey Walker in the top 5. I mean, words cannot be explained for how Stacey was looking at the party.
Okay.
So she's definitely in the top 5. And last but not least, in our top 5, Miss Sean Binion.
Oh, wow.
Let's give a round of applause for our top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause.
I agree.
At the party.
I agree slightly with your list. There's some disparities. But, it's your list.
So you're saying you was going to take somebody off?
Yeah.
Who would you take off, sir?
Well, I'm going to let you have your list.
Who are you going to take off the top 5? Tell me which lady does not deserve out of that list to be on the top 5. Since you said it was
I'm not going to, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to say anything. I'm actually joking. All of those women were absolutely beautiful. And we were lucky to have them at our events.
Exactly.
And I'll say this. When I saw one, and I'm not going to name any names, I almost had a heart attack. She looked that good. But let's move on before.
We'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep that moving. We're going to keep the segment rolling, baby.
So what have you done? What have you been on this D-Nice deal or what?
Hey, man, like you said, when you're quarantined, it's all about keeping your mind occupied, man, not getting too down, keeping your spirits up. I've myself had
something happened. I can't see you or Dr. Sabrina. Dr. Sabrina, you there?
So me personally, can you see me now?
I can see you now. Hey, it's Dr. Sabrina.
Dr. Sabrina's in the house. Welcome Dr. Sabrina to the podcast, baby.
Dr. Sabrina, how are you this fine evening?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good.
Hey, Dr. Sabrina, how you doing?
I'm great. Hey, how are you, Corey?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
Well, everybody, Dr. Sabrina is one of our new contributors to the Beautiful Machine family. She has a segment called Dr. Sabrina Says, where it's kind of like is it fair to say like a Dear Abby kind of thing?
Dear Abby, absolutely. Like a Dear Abby.
Where people kind of, asked her for help with their quandaries in life, and her expertise is the people expert. And she's so kind that she lets our audience vote on the solution. It's really slick how she does it.
Hey, D, before you get into that, just wanted to ask Dr. Sabrina, because I know Dr. Sabrina was at the Love Party. Dr. Sabrina, what did you think about the event? Can you kind of tell the people that you were there as one of our guests?
Dr. Sabrina, this guy's stuck in party land.
How you enjoy it? Because, we all about promotion. We all about promotion.
Let me tell you
we want people to understand
let me say
that we have the best events in the city. So tell them about the event.
The best events. The event that you had at the Players Club.
Yeah.
Off the chain. I had never been to a party in person where a person was laid on the table and we got to eat off of the person.
You like the naked sushi, huh?
Well, Dr. Sabrina, you need to come to some of the parties at my house. We do that.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad I'm a part of the team now. Okay. But then Chuck's party was amazing. I think that the having the sample of all the different restaurants was amazing. Mm-hmm. People were dressed to the nine. We danced. I had a ball. I just had a ball. I really did.
Doc, we honestly put a lot of thought, and we're very intentional about who we want at these parties. Because, you know, my buddy Donnie said this one time. He said that we don't have parties, we have strolling think tanks. And that's kind of an interesting way to look at it, because there's something beyond a good time to be had by associating with the people that are kind enough to associate with us. So, you know, and then I'm not scared to say, I mean, listen, one of my dear friends, beautiful girl, I mean, fucking fantastic. She couldn't get in because she wasn't dressed properly. Like, we don't play that crap. If we say black tie, it's black tie.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have those kind of people treat you like you treat you. So if we say it's dressy, it's dressy.
It's dressy.
I don't care if you're doctor or president or whomever, we catch you next time. Because another thing about our parties, there's no VIP. Everybody's VIP.
Everybody.
So it's no difference. You don't, you know, we don't rope it off and, you know, do all that stuff. We don't do that. Everybody is what it is. So, you know, that's an intentional thing. And, you know, we have guests. We don't have patrons.
That's right. We don't promote celebrity guests. We expect celebrity guests to just be there in attendance. You know, there's no need to put them all on the flyers, you know, promoting and all that, because we expect them to be there and they're interacting with the people just like everybody else, because everybody is a celebrity and VIP guest at our parties.
For me, it just, when you are a person that is in the public's eye and things of that nature, you want to have places to go that the people around you are like you. You want to be around people that you feel comfortable with, that you can have what you say think tank type of conversations, that business networking can occur, collaborations and partnerships can occur, because that's the level of mindset that you have in the room, even though we're having some libations.
That's right. Hey, man.
You know, the crazy part, Doc, is I got a closet full of suits. Corey's got a closet full of suits. We don't even have any place to wear them. We don't have a place to wear them. And like the most disappointing thing for me, you go to certain parties, right? You have girls that put a lot of effort into how they look. And you have guys that have on stupid shit. I hate to see that. So we match effort with effort. There's nothing more beautiful than a woman that's dressed up. There's nothing more, you know, kind to me than to see a guy who looks like a gentleman, you know, and is conducting himself like a gentleman. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So we pick the location, we scout this, we scout that, we put money into it. Those parties are tremendously expensive, and we hold each other accountable.
That's right.
And we say,
I want to say this. I thank you for having them. I work hard, but I play hard. So I love to have a playground where I can play hard.
Exactly.
But Doc, we haven't won it. I don't know if you're gonna like, because we do a one that's just a celebration of life.
Okay.
And we said this afternoon we having Popeye's chicken sandwiches as the food.
Oh, let me tell you something. That right there makes me want to come, because I am a Popeye chicken sandwich fiend. I'm the one who will wait in the line. I am the one who will go to Popeyes to find me a sandwich. Yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna bring in about 200 Popeye sandwiches.
I'm so glad. Just let me know the date so I can be there.
and we getting the DJ that play that work it. Ain't gonna be nothing pretty. It's gonna be there you go. There it is.
Little twerk work.
But this is the thing too, is that when people see you in a certain light, you know, they see you giving advice, they see you speaking, things of that nature, they don't realize that, oh yeah, Dr. Sabrina can twerk.
Dr. Sabrina, I grew up on Dexter and Davidson, right on Glendale, 9 houses off Dexter. Mm-hmm. Everything else I have in me was a intentional gift from my parents. But my soul came from Dexter and Davidson area. And I like all of the stuff that everybody else liked. And sometimes we forget how much fun it was. And I tell you where I got it from. I was watching, are you familiar with these versus series where they have they had T-Pain versus Little John?
Yes,
you know those two, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I'm just making sure,
Oh yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Please, don't. You don't have to check my credentials.
Okay.
I show up ready. Okay.
Well, they had them. The premise of the thing. And matter of fact, at 9:00 tonight, they have Babyface versus Teddy Riley.
They had to cancel that one. That's the rescheduled one. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because Babyface had the damn thing, Corona, his whole family.
Yep.
So they have and they each play 20 songs.
Okay.
And so I'm listening to Little John's music, I'm listening to T-Pain's music, and I'm saying, man, I love this stuff. I just kind of, some of the rap music, as I've gotten older, I don't appreciate the disrespect and the misogyny and all that. So I push away from it. But some of that party stuff, like "Put the Windows in the Wall," all that, I like that stuff. I like all that deep thing, I'm in love with a stripper.
It gets you turned up. It just immediately gets your spirit and your energy elevated, which right now in this pandemic, we need to elevate our energy.
Yeah. Indeed.
So what's that, Corey?
I said, yeah, definitely. We definitely need that energy and to raise our spirits. As a matter of fact, that brings me on to another thought, because D, you wrote a very interesting article.
Before we do that, let's talk about Dr. Sabrina's.
No. Let's get to that first, brother. Then
okay. All right. What is it?
I feel like that's important because a lot of people probably going through the same thing, man. Then we get to the fun, man. But just kind of touch on, I know Dr. Sabrina read it too, and the article is called "Stuck in the House." So I feel like we need to take care of business.
Get it right. It was called "When I Couldn't Go Outside."
Got it. So I feel, hey, share that with the people real quick, especially with Dr. Sabrina here, because I know she kind of read it. Let's kind of dive into that real quick, and then let's get to some fun.
The juicy.
Okay. All right. Well,
crazy.
This is the thing. I'm stuck in the house. I feel sorry for myself. I'm eating Oreo cookies like I'm a fucking vacuum cleaner. I'm just feeling bad. I'm scared my father's gonna catch this crap. I'm scared the people I care about. Like I'm screwed. I'm mentally screwed. I'm saying to myself, none of the advertisers is gonna pay. Everything that could possibly get in your head is in my head. And on top of that, I'm sick. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, woe is me. Mm-hmm. I'm like literally couldn't sleep because every time I'm hoping my throat don't explode or whatever. I'm watching CNN where it's just, at that time it was bleak. Every day it was more sensational. 20,000 people in Italy or whatever. Then it came to New York and then this, that. So, man, I just had to write. I had to write. And the finished product was probably the 20th version of that story. And it started off very dark. And as I start to, my father started sending me scriptures every day. Every morning, just boom. And I felt good about that because I knew, number one, he wasn't sick. When I saw them scriptures, I was like, good, my father made it another day.
Amen.
So I ain't even open them, to be honest. I just looked, boom, I opened them later. But as that happened, and then people I cared deeply for were sick, and I'm worried about them, and I just had to write. I had to get it off my chest, and it started off extremely personal, and then I took out this, it didn't need to be that personal, and it basically was just me doing a quick self-reflection. Am I happy with, my physical fitness? No, I don't want to be this big. That's the truth. But you either work at being this big or you work at not being this big. So I have to switch what I'm working at. And that's what I'm doing. You work at having a lot of money or you work at not having a lot of money. So I think about, why am I spending this on that? Or why am I not saving this on that? Or whatever, however the process works. Okay, you want to be in a relationship or you don't want to be in a relationship? Where are you working? Because you working, whatever it is you want, you're working either for it or against it. And I just took everything that was important to me and self-eval.
Well, one of the things that I really appreciated is that it really demonstrates the power of the mind. because
Absolutely.
what we think is what we speak, and what we speak is what we create. And so in order for you to understand what you've created, you have to take inventory. And so
Exactly.
taking the time to say, do I like myself? Am I
Exactly.
happy?
What the
Am
fuck?
A lot of people don't ask themselves that question. A lot of people rely on what external says to them about them.
Exactly.
And so this time of being in, confined or isolated or whatever, it gives us that time to do that self-reflection. And
Exactly.
so it means that you have to shut down. When you said, like, the first I heard you and Mary talking about how you started out just doing Netflix,
Yeah.
but watching movies, and then finally you said, no, I can't do that, because you have to unplug from social media, CNN, all of that, so that you can quiet the outer voice so that the inner voice can then speak to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that your article was amazing. And I think
Yeah.
that a lot of people need to find the time to write. And if you're not a writer, maybe you can get your video thing in your phone and tape yourself talking and just get it out of you, because you have to get it out of you in
Right.
order to examine it, to see where you want to be on the other side, because all of us have something we can do better.
I tell you,
That's right.
the biggest takeaway for me, and it's a process. I'm no way close to being done. I've learned a couple of things. I learned that I have trauma that I never dealt with.
Okay.
I learned that I'm still sad that my mother died. I never mourned that. Those are the two things I know right now.
Okay.
Everything else I'm still learning, and I'm going to continue to do a therapy thing and continue to be honest, and I'm gonna not be so emotional about things, and just kind of take it easy.
Yeah.
Because I'm very passive.
The one thing I want to say to you and to Corey and to all of us is that this time also is teaching us that we have to be kinder to ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have to be gentle with ourselves. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel like you need to cry. It's okay to say that, you know what, I really don't want to be this size, or I don't like my relationship. I don't like how I'm communicating. I'm a bully. I'm controlling. Whatever it is about ourselves, we can own it, because you can't heal from a thing unless you're real about a thing.
Well, Doc, I never said I was a bully. Where are you getting that shit from?
I wasn't talking about you. I might have been talking about myself. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I mean, Jesus.
I didn't put a name to it. If it wasn't you, you would have took it personally. No. But it's really important that we do that deeper dive within ourselves. And I loved when I listened to Mary talking about how she's reading more, and she actually is reading the Bible. And you even talked about your father sending you scriptures. Let me tell you something about the word. The word still works. It elevates.
Amen.
Let me throw this out. This is the truth. Listen,
It
Doc,
just do all that.
Doc, let me tell you this. I grew up in a very religiously structured household.
Okay.
Okay. I rebelled because it was too structured for my lifestyle. But I believe in, Jesus is my savior.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Son of God, died for my sins.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do nearly enough, like praying and that stuff. Like my sister, she's a complete fanatic. She's singing, gospel. She doesn't listen to music. You watching TV with her, something crazy comes on, she'll change the channel. Yeah, it's just.
This is the thing, though, and I really appreciate you saying that, because I heard you earlier saying that you're not spiritual. Let me help you.
No, I'm not religious.
You're not religious. Every single person living is spiritual, whether they want to be or not, because we are a spirit that occupies a physical dwelling. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that religion is man-made.
Yeah.
The rituals, the routines, all of that And so I always say that religion is like a radio frequency when you're riding down the road. If you're
Right.
riding down the road, sometimes you get to a place and something tunes in crystal clear for you. But if you keep on riding, it's going to get fake.
Right.
And you keep on. So every person has to decide what that is for themselves. And it's okay. So when you say, I don't pray quite enough, I don't do this quite enough, what assessment are you getting that from?
Well, I think that's a part of my self-assessment.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, Doc. Truth of the matter is, I'm blessed beyond. I mean, it's just a fact. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I die right now, could say that I live my dream. I've seen a lot. You know, I've overachieved. But I can do better. And this is, my sister has always said to me, because I talk to her every day. She would say, pray. Just say, pray. You know, pray. And like, in that dark hole that I was in, I just started praying because I was sick. I had no energy. I was like, you know, my mind was playing tricks on me. I was feeling like my throat was burning, and it was, you know, and I just would start. I had to get up one night and sit in the chair because I felt like my chest was closed. You know, this weird, you know, this CNN shit, you know, watching this, you know, and Dr. Sandy Gupta and all these clowns saying what it is. So I got scared. So I just started praying. And this is honest truth. I prayed exactly for what I wanted. Like, exactly. Like I said, just to give an example, I prayed that tomorrow I want to buy a red shirt. And then tomorrow I found a red shirt. It was that exact. And like every day I would call Corey and be like, Corey, you remember that blah, 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 blah. And they called me and said blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? And then it was 4 days in a row. And I prayed about that stuff. So
But prayer is just the conversation that you have with God.
That's right.
That's what it is. And it doesn't have to be all structured and, you know, Heavenly Father, you know, do you.
Right.
So when I have a conversation with God, sometimes my conversation with God, I don't open my mouth, but I'm in my head and we go. And so I also know the difference between prayer, where I'm talking, and meditation, where I'm listening.
Gotcha.
Amen.
Well, see, I need to learn a little bit of that meditation because I'm
gonna quiet that time.
I'm gonna keep rolling these prayers. Like right now, I'm praying Corey doesn't destroy the next hour of this podcast. I really.
No, I got you, brother. We ain't gonna destroy nothing. We about to keep it moving.
All right, Doc. All right, this wasn't the.
Let's get to the fun. Let's get to the fun. Let's get to the article.
Doc, I'm gonna send you another check. All right, so let's get back to this quandary that your client put forth, because I've had a lot of conversation about that, and it's a very interesting topic. So please explain to the viewers the problem at hand.
Well, the problem at hand was, and this is a real life situation. So everything that we talk about on Dr. Sabrina Says, I'm going to be talking about real life issues. And so I had a client call me in a tizzy. I mean, cussing and upset. And she had talked about she's in a relationship. It's pretty new, about 8 months in, going amazing. Good sex, good conversation, bringing his check home, paying the bills, you know, checking all the boxes. I'm checking all the boxes. But this particular day, they had a wonderful lovemaking session, and she got up and went down and started cooking breakfast and made breakfast and called him down, and he didn't answer. So she ran to go find out, you know, to let him know that breakfast was ready, and she walked in on him pleasuring himself.
Uh-oh.
And she
let's get it now.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
She went ballistic. She grabbed he had his phone, and I guess he was watching some video of porn of something of that nature. And she took the phone and threw the phone, and she told him to get out. And why would you be doing that? And you got good, sweet ass right here.
Okay.
And so she put him out. He went to work, and he kept calling her and texting. She wouldn't talk to him because she was just devastated. Once she was devastated, the first thing she said was, "This means that he's cheating on me."
All right, so let me just translate this so I understand, so everyone understands.
Okay.
He just got done knocking her off.
Yes.
Right. He knocked her off so good she went downstairs and cooked breakfast.
Some breakfast.
Cook the breakfast.
Okay, she got him right. So she comes up to tell him breakfast is ready. He's watching some visual aid on his cell phone, probably porno, we'll say.
Yes.
And he's he's choking the chicken. And she freaked out over that.
Freaked out.
And she thinks he's cheating.
First thing, that he must be cheating. He has to be cheating, which I didn't understand where that came from, but okay. And then secondly, it means that he's not satisfied with her sexually.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I took from it. I said, wow, that must mean he must not be satisfied.
Really?
That's what I took from it.
Really? Why? Why would you say that, though?
You and Corey talk, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Corey?
Because I just feel like if they just had a love making session and he's still not satisfied to the point where he has to go pleasure himself right after, then he must have not been satisfied by the love making session. That's what I feel. Now I don't feel like it's cheating. And I know we're in a podcast, we have a very interactive audience. So audience, if you're listening, please comment, let us know what you feel about the story. But I just don't feel like it was cheating. I feel like it was more of a not satisfied.
All right, Corey, I got a question. So you never self-served after sex? Like just because? Okay.
Self-served after?
Yeah,
after.
Nah, I can't say that I've done that after, brother. I mean, I try to make sure that everybody's satisfied when the session is done.
Okay, so but let me say this, and I said this in my response. The first thing I talked about is that masturbation is a very normal thing, and it's various different reasons why people masturbate. And masturbation, by it being a singular event, it has nothing to do with whether or not I am pleasured in my coupling sexual experience. Let me give you an example. If I have just had sex and it was great, it was wonderful, but I still may want a little something, but what the little something is, I may not want to be, I don't want you slapping on my tail. I don't want you climbing on top of me. I don't want to have to do all the mechanics that go with being with a person.
Okay. Right. I understand that. But see, the reason why I say the satisfied is because it was right after. Now, I do understand the reason. There's a reason for it because sometimes, like you said, you just don't want to have to, you don't feel like having to do all that work to please the other person. You just want to get yours and be done. I get it. But when it's right after, that just sounds to me like he wasn't satisfied. That's all.
No.
It'd be different if it was
tell me when it's my turn. Tell me when it's my turn.
It's your turn. Go, Demetrius.
I got about 3 possible answers here, maybe more, but I'll just keep it whatever. And I'm using this is based on my experience.
Okay.
With the situation. Answer number 1. It could have been so good, right? That he wanted more. It wasn't a matter of satisfaction in that regard, but he just wants more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the thing about sex. And I've had a lot of sex. I'm a sex expert.
Oh, Lord.
If there's a sex hall of fame, I'm in it.
They retired your jersey, brother.
No, I'm still playing. I'm not retired. So this is the thing. In most cases, to get these ultimate sex experiences, right, you have to do a lot. Like women are I mean, now let me get this straight, because I don't want to make a mistake here. There's some situations where two people just want to have sex and boom, it's great. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you get to that passionate, love-making kind of deal, it's typically a process.
Mm-hmm.
A process of talking and hanging out and showing love and warming the woman up and letting her feel appreciated and, all the things that are beautiful about dealing with the woman. Did you agree with that, Dr. Tamika?
Yes, but men don't need to be warmed up.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because we get warmed up in a different way.
Yes.
We get warmed up when all the shit that we're doing, all of that is working.
Okay.
That's how we get warmed up.
Okay.
Because when we give the flowers and the big smile comes, it makes us feel good. Temperature rise. When we take you to the restaurant and you say, baby, that was so delicious. And there's a look. Corey probably's never seen this. Corey's not my level. But there's a look that women have when they had a delicious meal and they're content. There's a look.
Mm-hmm.
Like food does something different for women. Like as long as I'm not hungry, I could give a shit. I don't, but women is some kind of thing that happens when they eat this and all that shit, and it's a look, right? Do you agree with this? Tell me if you don't agree.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
that is
So you do all this stuff and you're warming her up and you're not playing a game. You really like her, you love her, whatever. So it's you being sincere. So she reciprocates in a sexual way when that part of the evening comes, right? And it's great. It's great. You are just like loving what you're getting, loving, what you're giving. Everything is good. Now she's cooking breakfast. You're laying there and you're rewinding what you just saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now for me, if I get an erection thinking about it, I'm probably gonna, Corey, what happened? It just says Corey. I don't see your face. Okay. All right, Corey has inadequately prepared as usual. He has to get his charger. So, so you do this thing, you guys have this beautiful thing. If I'm not satisfied and I get an erection, I'd self-serve right there. Now, this is the gray area. Looking at porno of someone else makes it bullshit to me.
Okay.
Now, that is where I have a problem.
Okay.
Because now you're not using the total recall to satisfy yourself, but you've integrated someone else.
Okay.
That's a little touch and go for me.
For you.
But I don't think, and actually what I was trying to say is it's easier to just self-serve than have to do two or three of those things again at that moment to try to recreate that magic moment you just had.
Exactly.
So I don't think that it's a sign that he's not satisfied. It could be a sign that he's so satisfied that he wants more. And it definitely doesn't say that he's cheating, because the mind of a cheater, if you're having sex with more than one woman, you're not trying to release your juices by yourself. You need to save those for the other party. That's the mind of a cheater. I've been that too. So you're not whacking off. You're trying to preserve that gas tank for the next car you're going to drive.
Exactly.
So at any way, I don't think that's a sign that he's cheating.
Okay. I didn't either. I didn't. And one of the things that she asked me, she said, so you mean to tell me if you had walked in on him, your man, servicing himself, you wouldn't have been upset? I say, not at all. One of two things I would have done. I would have either opened the door, looked in and said, oh, my bad, closed the door so he can finish what he's doing, because that's his private moment. Okay. Or if I felt like it, come on in and let me help you with that. However, those are the only two options that I have.
You're the real VIP. because that's what she should have did. She should have said, "Oh, whoa, what are you doing?
Hold on. Let me help you with that.
Come on."
You.
Hey, we all about helping. Helping is a wonderful thing.
Hey, so the general consensus in the comments coming in on the Facebook Live video is that
Dave, show your beautiful face, man.
I'm just being in the background, being the producer guy, just hanging out there.
Hey, give it up for Dave.
Yeah, what do our comments say, Dave?
All right, Dave, what do they say?
General consensus is that she just she didn't do it for him. That
Thank you.
Maybe he didn't actually get off during the sex. Maybe. I mean,
Dave,
guys can fake it too. It's not as easy, but.
All right, Dave. Dave, is that a sign that he's cheating?
No, I'm kind of in the same boat that you are. I don't think that's a cheating aspect. I think that's that session just didn't do it for him, and it's entirely possible that he didn't get off when he was with her and needed to relieve the pressure, so to speak.
Have you ever had a situation where it was so good that you wanted it again?
But that's when you go for round 2, dude. That's the you don't do that yourself. That's round 2. Possibly round 3, depending on how the night's going.
Whoa, Dave! Give it up for Dave.
Give it up for
Dave. Dave. Well, I tell you, man. I mean, see, I can only say for myself, dude. I don't know. I mean, shit.
I know. For me, I would not have thought that it meant that he wasn't satisfied or pleasured with me, because I know that there's a difference in the mindset between my coupling sexual experience and if I want to pleasure myself.
Okay. All right. Well, Dave.
I mean,
Dave, you may as well stay in with this, man.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, in my opinion, so I took this when we were talking about putting the podcast on. I actually took this, this thing. I know in the magazine, by the way, if you don't follow the magazine or you haven't read the magazine, please, viewers, go subscribe, read the magazine. It's great articles in there. Dr. Sabrina's articles in there. There's other articles in there. There's also ways for you to participate and vote on the article, even Dr. Sabrina's article in the magazine. So by all means, go to the magazine. But
and also, throw this out there. You can write to Dr. Sabrina if you got something going on.
Exactly.
She'll help you.
Exactly.
And we'll get you right, because, I don't know. I mean, Dr. Sabrina, I want you to have your client call me. I'm gonna find out if it's really her or
Hey, come on, guys. You say you love to help her out of a situation.
Well, I mean, here's the other aspect of it. I mean, I think probably the best analogy I've come up with is like, look, because this gets into the whole he was watching porn aspect. Okay, so look, dude, you can own a Ferrari. A Ferrari is a hot goddamn car that you get behind the wheel of, and you love that car, and it does everything for you. But you sitting at a stoplight and a Lamborghini pulls up next to you, you're gonna look at that car.
Absolutely.
And you are going to admire the crap out of that car. Okay. And you might even think about that car. Okay. You just shouldn't be taking it for a test drive on your own. So.
Now, see, that kind of goes back to my point right there. So before we sat down for the podcast, I took the question. I talked to some people out in the streets, right? I went and did a street poll, right? And basically it was people that I work with, because we're practicing social distancing. So it was really more so people that I work with. And we talked about this topic right here. And like I said, people, the aspect that they found that was cheating was not so much him, like I said, doing that after the thing. That was more so not satisfied. But some people felt that watching of the porn was considered mentally cheating. So, yeah. Dr. Sabrina, what do you say about that? Watching porn, or even audience, do you feel like watching porn is a form of cheating, mental cheating?
I don't.
I do, Doc.
I personally don't.
Well, see, Doc, this is the gray area, okay? This is where the porn gets a little dirty for me.
Okay.
Now, let's say if he just didn't finish having sex with her.
Okay.
And he was at his house and she wasn't there, and he's watching low porn. That's a whole different thing. But I'm not gonna watch no damn porn if a woman that I like having sex. You know what? I changed my mind. She must be whack because if I'm able to have sex with a woman that's downstairs and it's good, I'm hitting again. So yeah, I can't.
Okay, so let me
cancel everything I said.
This is the thing that is important to understand. Sexuality. This is the thing. Sexuality is such a broad brush that you paint with. It's not the same for everybody. And so I am never one that thinks that one person's way of thinking is the way of thinking. And
True.
there are people who just like porn. They like porn and they watch porn with their mate. They watch porn to get excited with each other. And so if they can do it with each other, why not do it by themselves? And it does not mean
See, Doc, there's
you're
a great,
cheating.
but there's a gray area there, Doc. Doc, when you say by yourself, is a difference when the woman you just had sex with is cooking you breakfast.
Amen.
By yourself.
I don't agree.
Doc, I'm gonna have
I
to
really
say,
don't. I don't agree.
I'm gonna have to say her loving must be trash.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I just don't agree. I
Doc,
think
I'm sorry. I changed my mind.
again, there are like when I talked about in my response about the different reasons that people may pleasure themselves. And one of the reasons, the number one reason really, is that it's the quickest way to get to orgasm.
It is. And
It's
masturbation.
the quickest way to get to orgasm. Now, let me say this. If the person just finished and it was wonderful, they got off, it was great, it was lovely, but they still, because everybody's libido is a little different, and sometimes one person still may want to go. It don't mean that they not pleased. Their appetite is bigger. Their
I agree.
appetite is more.
And
so
I've had that, Doc. I've had
may
it
not
like
be
that.
down for some more, so they'll top off.
See, and I think
that's male or female.
There's your follow-up question: is did he ask about round two before she went downstairs to make breakfast?
All right.
Did she ask, Doc, or was that a part of your conversation?
She didn't say. She didn't say.
Doc, well, let's take a roll call here. I'm going with her loving is trash. What do you think?
I'm going to go with the same thing. I'm going with he wasn't satisfied and the loving was
Dave,
trash.
what are you saying?
I'm not going to say she's trash because I don't know anything about her. But, I am firmly on the side.
Me and Corey knows.
Politically correct, but I am firmly on the side of he just didn't get off during it, and to your point of masturbation is the quickest way. Masturbation is the quickest way to get there. Okay, that's what he needed.
I got a quick question is there anybody that can access the Beautiful Machine website right now? Because, I can. Okay, Doc, tell us what the people are saying. Because there's been a couple thousand people that's weighed in on this.
Well, I don't know if we can see their I don't know if they.
Well, you can see the votes. You may have to
see the number of votes. Yeah, hold on. It's loading. It's loading.
Yeah, what's the people? What's the people saying? What's the people saying?
What the people? Give the people what they want.
And by the way, people go to. I'm going to say it slow. The www.thebeautifulmachinemag.com. www.thebeautifulmachinemag.com. Subscribe, it's free. You'll get it every month. A lot of interesting things. And go down to Dr. Sabrina's story. It's a GIF of prints. Click on that. You can read the story. It's very brief. And you can vote. We'd love to hear what you got to say. And we know that somebody out there needs Dr. Sabrina because your love life is trash.
So in the vote so far, we have 61% who has said he's not pleasure. He was not satisfied. And
Amen.
then
That's what I said.
So
and
it's finished. She's trash.
No, sir, no. I don't agree. I just don't. I don't.
Okay, well let's go to the second question. How many people? And I know this wasn't on the server, but let's take a roll call. How many of us believe that watching porn when your mate is not around is considered cheating? Demetrius,
Wow.
what would you say?
Wow.
Because this is the thing. I know it's not cheating, but let's say this, right? Let me say this. If my mate was watching porno, right?
Uh-huh.
Of a guy, well, see, it's kind of, I can't, being fair, because if I watch porno, I'm watching the stuff that I don't do. That's the stuff that turns me on more. The stuff that I really don't have an interest in bringing to my
Your coupling
into my
experience.
company. Now, see, this is the thing. If you're lucky enough to have sex with me, right? I'm going to
Lucky enough, Corey. Did you
Lucky
hear
enough.
that?
You heard that, right?
Lucky.
This guy likes to toot his horn, really.
Well, see,
Toot.
this is the thing. If you're lucky enough to have sex with me, I'm going to constantly be asking for things, right? While in the midst of the sexual activity that I want you to say yes to, but I don't want you to do them. Like, I may say anything just because it gets me excited. But if you say, okay, hold on, let me make the adjustment, I'm gonna be like, whoa, chill. So I get the whole fantasy.
The fantasy of it. There we go. That is the thing. And so
Wait, so you want a closet shy freak, but not an actual freak, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
That's
right. Yeah. This, some of the stuff I might ask for, I have no interest. Hey, there's Dr. Inky. How are you, buddy? I have no interest in actually doing, but I just want you to say yes. Like,
say yes.
Yeah.
Just like it Coming to America. Whatever you like.
Exactly. I'll tell you
See,
what.
in some places, that's considered, though, a consensual contract. And if they say yes, then that means they have to,
Well,
oblige
since Dr. Inky is here. Dr. Inky, can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay. Let me tell everybody, say hi to Dr. Jackson and Corey and Dave.
I'm sorry. One more time.
That's Dave's on, Corey, Dr. Sabrina, and me. How are you, my brother?
Peace to Dave, Corey, and Dr. Sabrina, and of course yourself.
How you doing, Dr. Inky?
Okay, Doc. Doc, I want you to chime in on this, but let me give you the proper introduction.
Man,
Doctor, I've been knowing Dr. Inky for a little bit.
Hold on, Demetrius. Just 1 second. So you just going to just drop me right in the middle of the fire?
Right, he gonna put you in the hot seat.
Man, just hi, Inky. Go ahead and jump in the lava. Bam.
Hey, Doc, you were born for this, man. You were born for this. Let me give everybody just a 30-second introduction to Dr. Inky. I met Dr. Inky through a dear friend of mine who he helped come back from the brink of medical disaster. When I met him, all the stuff she was saying to me, I didn't know. I was skeptical, but open. And as I learned, like, all the things she went through, and then I met Dr. Inky, and he helped me get through some issues. This man is brilliant. He's a brilliant. Well, is it fair to say you're a holistic healer, or is that how I would? That's a good one.
That's cool. Yeah.
He's a holistic healer who takes the natural approach to solving medical problems. And I will be the first to tell you, he has helped me and several of my friends with various different ailments. And shortly, Antisha King will be joining us, and they're going to talk about how he helped her come back from this corona bullshit. And she was one of the people I spoke about that I was really, really worried that it could go bad for her, just because she had the shit. She had the CNN version of the shit. Like, oh, my chest, my fucking head, I can't hold around water and all that shit. She called me and she said, go to Dr. Inky's and get me some shit. And I swear, I went to the Inky. I couldn't even go to Inky because I was sick. Dave went to Inky's, got all this big ass. Oh, you look like you're asleep.
I'm ready, man. I'm here.
Jesus Christ.
I'm right here with you.
Dave,
I'm riding with you, brother.
Dave,
Let's
get
get
this
it.
fucker off the camera, man. He hooked her up, and in like 2-3 days, she was almost back. So that's Dr. Inky. Now, this is the interesting thing about Dr. Inky. He's also, where are you from, Brooklyn? Are you from Brooklyn, Dr. Inky?
Bronx.
Okay, Dr. Inky is from the Bronx, and he's an MC that's got a sweet-ass CD. So he's a very interesting guy. He's an MC, and he's a, is it safe to say that you're a student of Dr. Sadie?
More directly, one of his wives, but definitely a student of Dr. Sabi.
Okay, and he has a product called Big Gods that is the real deal. That's all I'm gonna say, and that's Dr. Inky. Now, Doc, jump in on this Sabrina shit. Did you hear it? Did you hear the situation?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the 5-second version. This guy was having sex with his girl. They've been together for 8 months, right? They just had a great sexual experience. She went downstairs and cooked him some breakfast. He started watching porn on his phone. She came back upstairs and he was whacking off. Was he cheating on her, or was that an indicator that he wasn't satisfied, or what do you think?
Well, okay, so I'm 40, right? So
Okay.
it looks like we got a mature group. So I would say in our world.
Was that some kind of slick way of calling us old?
No, there's just different. No, there's just different rules
You're
from
gonna get your
the
ass
world
kicked
I was
off.
raised in.
You're gonna get your ass kicked off our show with these insults, bro.
No. Listen, there was just a different set of rules for the world I was raised in, as opposed to the newer world. So, because we come from a time before internet, we have a certain way of distancing ourselves from internet. Like, we still use it, but we use it with a given, so the children that was born with internet, their world is more deeply intertwined to internet. This is how you got young guys, 20, 25 years old, threatening to kill people online, and because they're so comfortable with online, they don't realize that, so in the new world, I could see how somebody would say that's cheating. It's a digital world. But the world I'm from, porn is porn. We may watch something together. You gotta catch you watching it by yourself. I mean, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But so I understand it from both angles because of the paradigm of, say, so for me, it would be depending on how old the people was. Or if it's 20 to 30, then it's okay, well, maybe I should talk about some things. If it's 35 and up, it's like, come on, knock it off. It's just, it's coronavirus. I mean, you got other shit going on.
That's one way to look at it. I see his point.
I love that. I love that he gave that scenario, because she is in her late 40s, and I think he's either in his early 50s. And so I just, and I'm in my 50s, so I did not see it as cheating at all. And I wouldn't have felt like, oh, this is the other thing. I think a lot of times we think we make something about us that really don't have nothing to do with us.
Okay. Yeah.
He was, how am I going to get upset because he's pleasuring himself? That's his thing.
Gotcha.
And
I feel like a lot of people sometimes people feel like the fantasizing about someone else other than them is what really is the, some people have that type of ego where they like, hey, I need to be the only one you think about when you're in that type of mood.
Okay. And
what were you about to say, Dr. Inky?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that sometimes women think too highly of us as men. So to think in their minds that if their man is jerking off to random porn, that somehow we're like fantasizing about the porn star and the stuff in the porn. Like, that's way too much. Yeah. It's really not that deep. A lot of times it's just, bam, just getting one up out of there. Like, it's not.
Now, let me ask you this, Inky. Is it safe to say a lot of the things that we look at as men that are just that dirty, raunchy, sexual bullshit, we don't even want our woman to do that?
Well, you know what?
We just got to
say this.
Somebody beautiful just dropped in.
Now, wait. Is it that you don't want your woman to do it?
Thank you.
Or you don't want
myself, sir.
any woman to do it?
Oh,
They
no.
are here.
Thank you. See, that's what I'm getting ready to say. Like, wait a minute. I feel like Demetrius done put me in a situation here. So this is what I'm gonna say about this. I think that as somebody that used to like,
Whoa, we just got another beautiful woman dropped in. All right,
Hey, that's how we do it, D.
We got a nice
You know
panel.
what we do. We
Yeah,
bring them out, baby.
So wait. So when I was younger, though, I used to really be into watching porn, right?
Okay.
And so I actually had an experience that changed that for me.
What are you thinking? Like when you were like 39?
No. I'm talking about when my like late teen. You swallow. So wait. So I had an experience where my brothers took me to the AVN Awards, and I got to actually see porn being made. And when I saw porn being made, it turned me off from watching it because I realized it was like 50 people in the room.
Right.
Like it's not really, it's just
it's not what you're saying. And I've been to the AVN Awards. We actually broadcast my show from the AVN a couple of years ago, and once I was like, oh, that was just too much. I didn't want to know all that.
Right.
Never go back in the kitchen. Never.
Right. So that's basically where I'm going is where things have gotten now. See, going back to an age thing. So for my time period, like I was just talking with a brother. This is crazy how we get into this conversation, but he mentioned something about a young artist, a female. She said something. She said a reference in her rhyme, Deep Throat. And so I was like, yo, that's crazy. I remember when that movie came out, what I'm saying? Or not when it came out, but I remember when I was young watching it because it had been out for a while by the time I seen it. But I remember watching it, and back then, when I was like 10, sneaking into my dad's stuff, that was considered like super raunchy porn. They was trying to ban it and this, that, and the other. But to today's standards, it's damn near like a power scene, like a scene from Power. So
right.
The shit
I tell you what was funny.
Wait. The stuff that's going on now is so much like some of this stuff is repulsive. Like you got porn now where they like doing close-ups inside of a woman's, anus.
Canal.
Like, so some of these things are too much for me personally.
Can we all agree that porn does not need to be in 4K?
So my answer is not that I don't want the woman to do it. Some of this shit I don't even want to take part in.
Exactly. That's what it is for me. Like porn for me only serves a purpose. Like I'm old fashioned, bro. I don't like a lot of this new age shit. I just want to do the basics really well.
Right.
I don't need no butt plugs and I just don't. That's not what I need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've never wanted video footage of the inside of someone's anus. Like I
don't need it.
They're like, that's my girl. I can tell that inside.
Right? Yeah. It's just like, wait a minute, what's happening right now?
Okay, guys. Let me introduce our next guest. This is Antisha King. She's the Vice President of Global Programming for Beautiful Machine. She's widely responsible for a lot of those parties that we give. Say hello to Antisha, looking like a African queen there. Let's check.
Hello there.
Antisha.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine. Now we had Latrice Delgado. I don't know what the heck happened to her. We could see her for a second.
She bailed out. I heard somebody talking about taking pictures of somebody's inner anus. I think that was a little too. Had to get out of it.
That scared her off?
That scared her off.
Okay. All right. So we got 5 minutes. I want to discuss this. I want to throw this in. All right, Dr. Inky's back. All right, Doctor, you hear us okay?
Yep.
Okay. This was another story that was in the magazine. We do this thing called Jealous or Justified every month. And basically, it's a situation, and you get to vote whether the subject is being jealous or justified. Okay? Now, hey, Doc, can you pull up that jealous and justified so we can reference those numbers? Now, this was this month's jealous or justified. This guy was dating this girl, okay? He liked her a lot. She had a kid. And
hold on. She had a kid with him or
with someone else.
Got you.
Okay. And Doc, do you have that pulled up?
Not yet. I'm on my phone, so give me a minute.
Okay. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember the whole thing. This is written by Rachel Smith, who's a talented writer that contributes with us all the time. So he was dating this girl. He liked her a lot. She had a kid. So to make a long story short, the kid's dad had bread. He had the money. Now, the girl tells him that we should just chill because I need to play the role with this guy to get the money.
Money. Okay.
Okay. And basically he let his girl go back to her baby's daddy because he had more money. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I think that was it. Like, that was the gist of it.
Okay.
Now, he claimed to love this woman. Okay. Now, I think that now, I guess the question for that would be, is that a good reason to let a woman you love go back to her baby daddy if she doesn't want to be there, but she has a kid with him for the money? What do you think, Antisha?
Hey, D, real quick before we get
Yeah.
back into that, I think Latrice has come back into the building, so you might want to bring her back in.
All right, where's she at? I don't see her.
Oh,
I
shit.
just saw it said she joined back up, so I think she's back in.
Yeah,
Okay,
then I can see her.
All right, we'll get her. Or should we save this Jealous or Justified for the next podcast?
Oh, there she go. I see her. Hi, Latrice.
Yeah. Go ahead and introduce her, D.
I don't see her on my end.
You have to go to it. It's too. You can only see so many on your scroll on the side, so you have to
Hold on.
the little arrow.
Oh, I see her. There she is. There she is, Miss America. Okay.
This is Detroit.
Okay. All right. Let's introduce her, and we'll talk about we'll talk about Jealous or Justified another time. Latrice, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Latrice is our fashion editor,
I am.
and she does some beautiful things in the fashion community in Detroit. Damn, look at her! Look at her laundry room. That should look like something out of a magazine.
Exactly, bro. I was about to say, is that Home and Gardens right there? What's going on?
She's got flowers in her laundry room. My God. That's funny as hell.
Right.
So Latrice wrote a very poignant piece about while we're in quarantine, the importance of getting dressed and not sitting around with these goddamn sweatpants on, letting this situation get the best of you. So Latrice, take over and tell us about that.
So, I'm just making sure that everybody get up and get dressed on the daily, because if you're not getting dressed, you're not feeling good, you're not confident, and you starting to gain weight when you don't feel, when you don't dress up. So I just tell people, to get dressed up.
The other way. Yeah.
You see it? Okay. Continue to get dressed up, continue to feel yourself, be confident, get outside, walk around or something, get dressed though. Don't just push your sweats on every day. You're going to gain that weight. You're not going to know that you gained that weight.
Right.
And then when you get out of quarantine, you're going to be looking like 300 pounds. Why are you going to do that? So I try to tell people to, get dressed daily. If it's like a top, put a cute top on, take some pictures. We in a social media day and age right now. Put on some pictures.
Yeah, just do something.
Yourself. It's about self-love.
The other thing that I would say, I really appreciate that article, because to me, when you're not getting dressed, oftentimes that means you're not washing.
Jesus.
Right. Talk about it.
And that's another thing. I do not want to see people in their jogging suits all day because odors and smells. I'll make sure that I take a shower daily. Or I have a spa day. I call it my spa day, my spa hour when I get in the tub. I relax, put my little face mask on, get comfortable, get dressed for the day, smell good, take pictures.
Let me ask you this, Latrice. Tell us, I don't know how much summer we're going to have, but what are some of the summer fashion trends that we should be looking out for?
Wait. One second real quick.
Okay. Go ahead, Dr.
On one of my videos recently, I do so many, it just, I don't know exactly which one, but one of the things I like to tell people, especially men, women kind of already in tune with it, but men, you need to take baths.
Yes.
And so right now is a great opportunity because of quarantine, because of coronavirus, to take baths. And when I said that, he was like, what do you mean? I said, because your first line of defense to a virus is your skin. The skin is your first line of defense. And what a bath does, especially if you do like a warm bath, a hot bath, it opens up your pores. Any men that get a shave, they know they put the hot towel on the face to open up the pores. So when you get in the tub, you put that hot water in there, it's going to open up your pores. And now you can add some herbs to it. Like if you got herbal, like for the people that buy my detox from inkiesdetox.com, you can open the capsules, take about 4 to 6 capsules, open them up in there, and then just add you some other stuff. Add some essential oils, but you got to experiment. You can't just go crazy because, the essential oils are strong, you know what I'm saying? But it's a great opportunity for you to just soak, open up your pores, let the herbs and the oils go in, get some cleansing going on, strengthen that system, you know what I mean? So just tagging on to what you were saying about, washing your behind and everything.
Okay. All right. So I want to jump into, Latrice, stay with us for the rest of the show, please.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit to Inky and Antisha. Antisha, now what I want you to do is tell everybody how you felt. Obviously, you had the COVID-19.
Yes. So about a few days before, I haven't been sick for like 4 years. I hadn't had a cold, nose hasn't ran or anything. So maybe like 4 days.
Let me ask you this, Antisha, if you don't mind, would you just share a little? Share as much as you are comfortable sharing, so people understand your journey.
My health history was about 6-7 years ago. I was diagnosed with SLE lupus, right? The worst kind of lupus that you can have because it affects all your whole body. I wind up having, because I think the medicine they put me on or whatever the reason, I was in stage 3 kidney failure. I wind up linking with a few of the holy healers in the city, and Dr. Inc was one of them. I took his herbs and made some changes and stuff like that. Stopped eating stuff, exercise, and the numbers that my doctors say could never be changed, they started changing. So once I saw that these level numbers and my went from kidney failure stage 3 or 4 down to nothing wrong with my kidney, down to the inflammation in my body decreased to the point where they can't find lupus in me. So that's my history with that. Like I said, I had the kidney failure, whatever, and a few other things. I had some stuff going on with my heart or whatever. So for me to get sick, or the traditional person that has lupus to catch anything, could be very risky, right? So fast forward. I haven't been sick for 4 years. I don't take any medicines. I take nothing but herbs. I got really sick.
Tell us about your eating. Tell us about your eating, because that's a big part of it.
So what I did, number one, Inky stressed to me about leaving alone, basically going vegan. And, it was really slow for me. I didn't do it right away. I had to make some, but the more changes I made, the better my health got. So pretty much no meat, eating live food. He speaks a lot about living food, daily herbs, because we don't get enough of the things that we need in our body daily. So he had products that I took, and I've been taking for 5 or 6 years now. And like I said, I haven't been sick up until this point. So a few days before, maybe 4 days before getting really sick, I had something very minor. I sneezed, which was unusual for me. And then the next day I coughed like one time. The next day I had I was like hot and cold. So then I was like, well, let me go home. I'm gonna soak in the tub and try to, I don't know what's going on, take herbs or something. And I wasn't taking any oregano. I was out of my mama atomics from Inky. I was out of a few things. Soaked in the tub. That morning I woke up and I literally was dead. Embarrassed to tell someone. I couldn't move. I would go from my bed downstairs and I was just out of breath, like completely drained, like zero energy. I had a bad headache. My chest was like tightening up. I felt like, something was going on with my heart. So I called EMS. They came out and told me that they couldn't test me for me to go to Beaumont. Went to Beaumont, and they tested me for, they checked my lungs and stuff, checked my blood work, and it was like, everything is fine. Everything is good. They checked me for the flu, and it came back negative. So when it came back negative, I kind of knew that it was probably going to come back positive for corona, because I haven't been sick while I'm feeling like this,
Let me jump in here and say this, because the day that she was sick, I talked to her, and it was scary. Like, it was really, honestly scary, and she couldn't hold down water. She was drinking water. She was throwing up. I'm saying, do you have a thermometer? She didn't have the energy to go downstairs and get the damn thermometer. And I'm saying, oh my God, because everything she's telling me is what I was watching on television. Mm-hmm. So I just don't, like, it was a lot more severe than what she was saying. I just want to make sure you guys, she had the shit. I mean, she had the shit like they were talking about on TV, like your chest, your lip. I mean, she was like, I was scared to death for my friend.
I really could. I mean, me sitting up was like me running 6 miles straight. Like, just to sit up was like, I couldn't do it, I did. I felt horrible, but I knew that if I I went to the hospital because I was getting dehydrated. I knew, with anything you take in your body, you need hydration. So I wanted to get there to get enough to get hydrated. I called Demetrius, and I said, Demetrius, listen, I don't care what you do. I'm not going to be here long. Go call Inky and go get me some herbs. When I get home, I need some herbs, because I knew what it is. I knew I had a virus. I knew I need some of his drops that has like high potency of oregano oil in it that keeps the virus. I knew I needed to detox whatever parasites or whatever was in my body. So he got me some herbs over. I got back maybe about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I went in and I took maybe 6 or 8 pills. It was a lot of pills, not pills, but a lot of herbs I took. And I took some drops. I drank some water. I woke up the next morning 100% better, like I wasn't even sick.
All right, now let me jump
Amen.
in.
Amen to that.
Now let me jump in.
Tell you about it though.
The next fucking day, she called me and sound like herself. Like, her voice was strong. But she still had the dirty cough and, a little lingering. But clearly, I went from being terrified for her, because I can't, we're friends and she's my partner. And it helped, I was scared because the lupus, I didn't know, you know what I mean? I had faith, but you're just watching CNN, you're hearing all this crazy stuff. So I'm praying, I'm saying, hopefully Antisha come through this. The next morning, she sounded like herself. But I got sick the next morning. So you pick it up, Antisha.
Yeah, so anyway, I took the herbs, but I noticed I called and I told him, I was like, I feel better, He was like, no, you got to, rid the virus out of your body. You still got to take the antiviral kit to kill the virus, to kill all the cells and flush all the cells stuff out of your body. So then, as the day went on, I kind of declined a little bit from 100 to maybe about 70, but I was functioning. I wasn't dead like I was before. I didn't have any taste buds. I couldn't smell anything. So I was just doing a lot of smoothies. I was taking some sea moss and just a lot of herbs twice. He told me 3 times a day. I was taking about twice a day. And I know, just rid the virus out of my body.
Guys, I'm going to say this. After about 3 days or 4 days, maybe, she was out riding her bike. She was out walking. She was like fighting this thing. She was fighting it. And, listen, guys, I don't believe everything I see, but I believe in this herb thing. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she went from fucked to unfucked in about 3 days.
The YouTube video, I actually post, and I don't really boast on it a lot. But there's a YouTube video of me out there. I did it maybe about 3 years ago. And I actually posted my medical levels, which is something I can't nobody make it up. Like, these is on my Beaumont chart. And you'll see the level of certain like my AGI or my my ANA, my antinuclear antibody, like producing of the inflammation and things that show the characteristics of having SLE lupus. And you'll see the levels within 45 days of me taking. I don't know if it was the Dick Guys, because the Dick Guys is too for women too. It's just not for men.
The guys are for women too?
Yeah.
Women too.
Fuck.
It's mainly a hormone type of herb that gets your hormones and everything balanced. So I think I took that and I took a detox, and my levels went from, I don't know, it was like 49 to 113. Like, it went literally like this. And then whatever level that was too high that needed to come down, it went all the way down. So if you Google it, you'll see it, and I post it. And, I just like to have paperwork to show, what I'm saying. I'm supposed to be pills a day. I don't take anything. I was on an inhaler. I was on acid reflux medicine. I had GERD. I had my tricuspid valve, and my heart was narrow because not getting oxygen. None of that. I was on a heart monitor.
She was fucked.
Any of that.
She was fucked. Just bottom line. And like, we've been friends for 2 years. So, and she helps me. She's a beautiful machine, really. She does all the fucking work. This is the thing. She practices what she preaches. And she doesn't eat bullshit. She exercises. She takes her herbs, and I'm a believer. Now, I want to shoot over to Dr. Inky. Dr. Inky, tell us why tell us why these herbs are so important. Tell us what we need to hear.
Well, it'll probably take, because the video we did right after on the coronavirus testimony. So there's a video called Dr. Inky Coronavirus Testimony.
Is that the one that's in the magazine right now?
Yes.
Okay, let me give them the address.
Yeah.
www.thebeautifulmachinemag, M-A-G, abbreviation for magazine.com. www.thebeautifulmachinemag.com. And also, check out Dr. Inky's music. He's got some dope music. Now, Doc, take over. Tell us why we need the herbs.
Okay, so in that video, I go through each herb and most of the inflammatory markers to show people because there's levels to having conversations, right? So there's one conversation where you're just kind of shooting the breeze and talking talking that talk, but then there's another level where you have to be able to make things. You have to put things in a scientific context so that people can verify before they do things for their health. They want to be able to go back. So for instance, people see me, they like, oh my God, look at them glasses. That man got on gold teeth. That ain't no damn doctor. What you talking about? So I have to show people things in a way where they can go back and get references. And so if they want to go to that level, that's why I was referencing that video. So go to the magazine and look that video up, and that way you'll be able to go through there. But basically, plants have a way of regulating your biochemistry, right? So most of the problem that we have is because we're the only living creatures on Earth that have moved away from their actual food source. So when you look at the plants, and this is why I say it's levels to this, because you got a lot of people pretending to be herbalists and health coaches and all kinds of foolishness, but they don't really know what they're talking about. So most times you can tell that because they'll immediately, when discussing plants, they'll jump to the inside of the plant, meaning this plant is high in, like iron, or this plant is good for the kidneys, or those are really super general terms and can actually cause people more harm than good. What I mean by that is, when you look at the lungs right now, you look at coronavirus in specific, coronavirus for people that are just the general public, we know coronavirus attacks the lungs or the respiratory system. What kills people with coronavirus is not necessarily the virus, but the body's response to the virus, which creates pneumonia, the flooding in the lungs, hypoxia, sepsis, and all that other kind of stuff, right? So if you put some herbs into somebody that stimulates the immune system in the lungs, which is what most people think, oh, you got a lung virus, you need to take these herbs because they stimulate the immune system in the lungs. Well, that can make the already over chronic inflammation worse. So you got to know what to put in there. So when you look at plants, the first thing to know about plants is the flesh of the plant provides your 3 basic parts to your immune system. So the first part of that is information. Inside plants, they have nucleotides and nucleosides. Those hold the information from the microorganisms that your body would need. So like, for instance, when you catch a virus or you're exposed to something, your body's able to synthesize the antigens and antibodies to attack it. Your body can do that without the exposure by consuming the plants, because the plants already have exposure to those pathogens. So when you eat GMO food, the way they make GMO food is by adulterating or destroying the nucleotides and the nucleosides where the information is held. So you don't get that from eating out of boxes and cans. The other piece is you get the actual flesh of the plant serves as, particularly plants that's high in what's called lectins. So like elderberry, I know a lot of people know about elderberry. One of the things that elderberry does is it's high in lectins. So those lectins, when you eat elderberries, actually become antibodies on top of the mucous membrane and the cell's membrane to protect the cells directly from viruses and pathogens. The third thing is the fiber of the plant feeds the microbiome, and the microbiome protects the mucous membrane and the cell membrane. So when you're looking at any virus, one of the things you got to think about is the attack of the viruses to actually get in the cells. Getting in your body is one thing, but getting into the cells is another thing. So you can actually stop the virus from entering the cells or make it more difficult by adding in certain herbs or wild plants. In your kitchen, most people have red onions already. You already have thyme already, fresh cilantro from the produce section. Like, it was amazing to me to see, and this is just for me, and I say this everywhere because I need people to really hear this and visualize it. The news breaks, national emergency. There's a virus everywhere, outbreaking, killing folks. Everybody runs to the supermarket. Now, me and you know, when you go to the supermarket, most of the supermarkets, the entrance to the supermarket when you go in is at the produce section, right there with the fruits.
Yes, indeed.
So what did people do? They heard about the virus. They ran right past all the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, the spices. They ran right past that aisle to grab toilet tissue. They got toilet tissue. No, because this is how insane the world is right now. So then they grab toilet tissue, right? And then they book it from the toilet tissue. And I'm talking about booking it. This was crazy. It was like Black Friday out there. Then they book it from the toilet past the aisle with vitamins, minerals, and herbs in it. They went right past that aisle to the water aisle, loaded up on 10 gallons, got to the register, got told they had to put 8 gallons back because you're only getting limited. So to me, it's just a matter of people not really being educated on this stuff, because as they're showing the news clips with the empty supermarket shelves, the produce section has never run down.
Never. Produce section is full all the time.
None of the supermarkets are having a shortage of fruits and vegetables and fresh herbs right now. None of them. None of the supermarket has empty vitamin and mineral aisles. None of them. So I'm saying, and it's just crazy. So in a time of virus, people go get toilet tissue and then meat. They ran right to the meat section. All the meat was sold out in 2 hours.
Right.
Now, that is another sign of insanity, because your body has an HLA system, right? The human leukocyte antigen system. And your HLA system, basically, to simplify, separates foreign genetic material from your genetic material. So anybody that has an autoimmune disease, they've heard about the HLA system, because that's literally what tells the white blood cells what to attack in your body. So the more meat you add to your diet, before you get to the effects of meat and all this kind of, acid, alkaline, all that kind of stuff, you're overloading your HLA system because you're eating foreign genetic material. So you're making the job harder on your body to distinguish foreign genetic material from your genetic material, which is one of the benefits to actually staying home or quarantining yourself, is you allow your HLA system to really center itself, because you're not exposed to so much foreign genetic material. Everybody has like a pig pen cloud. Remember pig pen from Charlie Brown?
Mm-hmm.
That cloud around. Everybody has a cloud like that. That cloud is full of your microorganisms. It's around your body. We could smell it. We don't understand how dynamic our sense of smell is, but your nose, that's why my nose is so big, right?
Huge.
I had to bring that science back for the ancestors. They said, let them know about the nose. The nose know. Fruit Loops, damn it. You can't told us the nose knows. So you can actually smell. We don't really understand it, but we can smell and detect microorganisms. Your nose can detect them. That's why food is bad first by the smell, and then, because sometimes you could smell the food being bad, but there's nothing grown on, like it didn't change color or nothing yet. But you smell that smell, what you're actually smelling is the microorganisms. When somebody works out and they sweat and they stink, you're not actually smelling the sweat. You're smelling the microorganisms consuming the colostrum released in the sweat glands while you're sweating. So it's always microorganisms at play. And that's the main thing that separates the difference between children's basically innate or seemingly innate resistance or immunity to coronavirus and older folks. The microbiome in children, they're constantly putting their
I want to interrupt you. First thing, will you come back with this next week where we can have more time with this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, Dave tell me what's going on online. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Inky? Any interesting comments?
No, haven't seen any come in for this yet. No.
Well, anything interesting at all?
No, it's mostly, I honestly think the funniest question that's come in is getting back to the cheating question is, was he looking at women or men on his phone?
Jesus. What's the person who asked that question?
David Lee.
Yep, it was
David Lee. Oh my God! It figures he'd ask something stupid like that.
That's not stupid. Wait a minute. Hold on. That might make all the difference in the world.
That does make a difference.
Yeah, I feel like I missed that. So now hold on. He came back up.
Just for the record, let me introduce. That's Dave, Dr. Inky. Dave works for the magazine too. Dave and I have been business partners for 25 years. He's like more than my friend. He's like my brother. So I was just joking. Dave is my main man. Dave's a funny guy, but I wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't watching midget porn every now and then.
Hey, man.
Hey,
if
hold
I've
on.
said it once, I've said it a million times.
No,
Everybody has their kinks.
Right.
As long as your kinks don't interfere with my kinks, I don't care.
Right.
It's like being mad at the guy in front of you in the sub shop because you're ordering a club and he's ordering a meatball sandwich. You ain't putting it in your mouth. What do you care?
Well,
Exactly.
we're gonna do this again next Saturday. I want you back. Now, what I'd like for you to do, because this is a question that and teacher, I want you back too. I want you guys to prepare a small bouquet of minerals or herbs that everyone should be taking. Because what I found as like a new person to this is that there's like, if you go online, right? And you just start getting into herbs and this and that.
It's too much information.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And then you'll start to be like, well, I need this, I need elderberry, I need this, I need that. So what I'd like for you to do is give us something that's practical, coupled with exercise and proper diet could literally change your life.
Well, he also has to tell them really quick before we leave why about his kit that I took.
Well, I want you to do that. I want to talk more about the coronavirus and talk about this, because this is the thing. It doesn't make any sense for us to take the coronavirus kit and then next week we're in McDonald's.
What?
You know what I mean? Or just going haywire again. So what I want to do is give people a roadmap for success over the rest of their lives. Because after you get to like 38, 39, 40, we need to go into life preservation mode.
No. Trust me. Listen, I got guys that's 25 years old that they think don't salute no more. And so it starts much younger than that. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I was trying to tell people, this coronavirus is one large example. Like, and, you know, I hate to go biblical on folks, you know what I'm saying? Because people are so passionate about this, but the Bible told you a long time ago, the herbs are for the healing of the nation. Yeah. And so when we look at the situation right now, China's been able to get their situation under somewhat control.
Really quick.
And they're using nothing but herbs over there. And then the crazy thing is, although most people in the States are yelling vaccine and medicine and blah, 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 Trump, with his hand-picked all-star team, AKA the Corona Team Task Force, they've introduced hydrochloroquine to people, which comes from a tree. It's an extract from the cinchona tree. And that's one of the actual tree barks that we've been using in the detox for years. So what I'm saying is this is one big example showing the world that, you know, plants really do the work. You know, the difference between plants and medicines mainly is with medicines being an isolated chemical compound from a plant, the domino effect of your biochemistry is not addressed with a medicinal. Whereas, so the way your biochemistry works, and I know we got to get off, but the way your biochemistry works is you have anywhere from 50 to like 150,000 biochemical reactions happening in your cells at any moment.
Okay.
Every other one is dependent on every other one. It's almost like a Jenga situation.
Like a symbiotic relationship.
Right. So when you grab the log from the bottom of the Jenga, at some point, it all topples over. And that's what happens inside your body that's never addressed, which leads a lot of times to side effects. Because you change an enzyme, protein, peptide, hormone, that's going to have a cascade of other effects on the rest of your body. So with a plant, not only does it have the active compound that makes the major change that you're looking for, it also has associated compounds to address the cascade of other biochemical changes that happens, which is why you don't see the same range of debilitating side effects from plants as opposed to medicinals. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, next week we go in.
Yeah, next week
let's go in.
We're going to dedicate more time. Dr. Sabrina, any closing?
I just want people to feel free to write in your comment, your questions right there on the site. And we've had about 1,969 people vote, and 61% of those say that they felt like he wasn't satisfied with her.
Dr. Sabrina, your girl's coochie is trash.
I don't.
Right, we've already determined.
Hey, you know what would be good? What would be good to find out is the sex of the people who voted. Because I think that the majority of those people, I think the majority of those people is probably women that's voting, because men would tell you it has nothing to do with you. You could be totally satisfied, but there's another very low vibratory, bestial, monster part of us that just wants to go,
Dr. Icky, real fast. Have you ever jacked off after a satisfying experience?
Absolutely.
Me too.
And before.
Okay, so can I say this as a woman?
Well, let me just say this. I've jacked off during a satisfying experience. Like,
Yeah, I
I
don't
stopped
think
and went like, hold on, let's try this. You know, I get it. But just
And
based
listen,
on,
I think that there are some women out there that are just as beastie as men are. They go
I
into
was
the
gonna
bathroom,
say
into the
that.
bathtub, and go in there and buzz out. They, you know what I'm saying? They pull out their
hold on a second.
Hold on, time out. The girls don't go nowhere. They'll do it right in front of your face.
Man,
Quick,
that's
real
right.
fast.
Okay, have you ever been having sex with a woman while you're, engaging in sexual activity? She's doing some kind of extra little deal with her hand while you're doing it.
I often encourage it. Listen, I often encourage it
Exactly.
to help her get where the hell she needs to go. It's like, hey, come on, focus now, get going. Let's teamwork
Okay.
here.
Okay, now this is the end of the show.
Doctor's
Now-
in here. Stop there.
Okay, now guys, this is the uncomfortable part of the show. The name of this is The Beautiful Machine, Slightly Inappropriate Podcast. And it's our tradition to ask a slightly inappropriate question. Now, typically, when we're doing this in the studio, you have a choice. You can either answer it, which is cool, or you cannot answer it, or either you have to put some money in a pot that's donated to charity, or you have to eat a habanero hot ass chip. One or the other. But no one gets away free.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Well, now I don't know what the question is because Dr. Sabrina has chosen the question. So, Dr. Sabrina, we only got a few more minutes. Dave, do you got to kick us off, or we got 5 more minutes?
Yeah, I think the next guys aren't coming in until 10 after, so you've got a couple.
Okay. Dr. Sabrina, take it away with your inappropriate question.
The inappropriate question is, do you think if a man enjoys having his anus played with, that it means he's gay?
Yes.
Hold on. We got to go with a roll call. Everybody has to answer, it one by one. So let's start with Demetrius. Demetrius, what's your
Now let me say this.
roll call?
Okay. Let me say this, Dr. Sabrina.
Yes or no?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think it's gay if it's a woman doing it. It's only gay if the two people are same sex. That's number one.
I agree with
That's
you.
number one.
Okay, that's Demetrius' answer. Can we go? Let's go to Antisha King. Antisha, what is your answer?
So a gay act is same sex. So I don't. Technically, I don't think that it's gay. Will I feel comfortable with it? Would be the question.
Right.
No, I don't think gay. But
Well, let me ask you this. I got one for you, Dr. Sabrina. Let's say if a guy's girlfriend, right, wanted to do that said play with a dildo in the fashion of a male genitalia. Now, I would say that that's starting to get kind of into like a gay area.
Okay, so wait.
You jumping the gun. We didn't get everybody's answer on the first question.
So wait, I want to change my answer.
Okay.
Demetrius just enlightened, just made, he just added new information. So I think there's levels to playing with the anus. So I think if, for instance, if a woman is playing with your anus, maybe with her tongue, or
that's
with
acceptable
her lips,
behavior.
or maybe she's blowing, or there's something like that. There's cool. But I think once you go down the road of penetration, whether it is with a dildo or not, then there's some other stuff going on.
So
let's get hold on, D. Let's get Latrice. She's on there.
Yeah. Get Latrice in here. Come on, Latrice.
I don't play with the butthole. I don't go near it. I don't want to play with it. I don't want nobody playing with mine. I think it's gay, or some type of tendency of being gay.
Well, again, as a disclaimer, as I know it, gay behavior is two people engaging in sexual contact that are the same sex. So I don't think it's gay. Is it my preference? I don't know. I don't think so. I've never had
try it, D. You should try it. See what.
No, I'm not gonna try it.
What do you think, Corey? Corey, what's your answer?
Personally, I don't feel that it's gay if it's with a man and a woman. I know that, when it comes to men, they say that our G spot is in the anus, right? So It's a little touchy when it comes to that. I personally don't play with that area at all.
Okay, doctor, can I ask another question, doc?
To me?
Yeah, can I jump in and ask a counter question?
Okay. Well, let me give my answer. I didn't give my answer.
Yeah, Doc, we gotta get Dr.
I'm sorry, doc.
Okay. I absolutely do not think that it makes a person gay, and that I don't think it's a gay tendency, because it's not the sex act that makes it gay. It's who you do it with that
Correct.
makes it gay.
Exactly.
So you can do any sex act with your opposite sex partner, and it does not make you gay.
Exactly.
I think that particular act people associate with gay, and they think that anybody who does that, it makes it gay, but it's not.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Now,
And audience, hold on, real quick. Audience, give us your opinions. Everybody, give a comment right now. Do you think that it's gay or not? Let's get the audience opinion as well. Go ahead, D.
Okay, now, Inky, I'd like for you to answer this first. Do you enjoy? I don't know how to say this, but do you enjoy providing entertainment to a woman's anal area? I mean,
hey, D, it's slightly inappropriate, man. Just spit it out.
I mean, Inky, do you eat ass?
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
So see, look. So those are two different types of questions. Entertaining the asshole and licking it is two different things. So there's a lot of different things that you could do outside of licking. You know what I'm saying? But
well, the question to you is, do you eat ass?
I'm not necessarily. What's my man Kevin Gates? I'm not necessarily, eating the groceries, and I mean, I go to the produce section.
Corey, what about you?
Well, I tend to be a little bit of person who likes to explore. And if my woman, woman is fine enough,
Corey,
you know what I'm saying, she got in that bathtub, I don't mind licking anywhere on her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Dr. Sabrina, is that something that you enjoy?
I am a person who I'm with my mate, and like the Bible says, the marital bed is undefiled. So anything I do with my mate is my business.
So are you going to answer the question? So you said,
did you plead the fifth? Did you just plead the fifth?
Yeah,
did I do that?
Yeah,
did I do that? Sleight of hand?
Unfortunately, I do have to wind this down because I've got these guys queuing up in a waiting room to hop in.
All right, Dave. Guys, listen. It's been our pleasure. We hope we provided some.
Wait a minute. What was Dave's answer? Dave never answered.
Dude, I don't care what people do. Do your thing.
No, what about you, Dave?
Yeah.
Dave, do you eat ass?
No, that's not really my thing.
Okay. All right, guys. This has been a Beautiful Machine, slightly inappropriate podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please go to the magazine, www.thebeautifulmachinemaG.com. You can reach any of us, Anthesia, Corey, myself, even Dr. Inky, Styling Closet, whomever you want to reach. You can reach us. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe. Stay in the house.
Hope everybody had a good time. Did everybody have a good time?
We hope you had a good time.
Of course.
We'll see you again next week. God bless you all.
Peace.
Thanks.
All right, so there's the live stream off.